Welcome to Bridlen LABO, our first experience store in Chennai, India. I hope everyone watching this would like to visit us and actually come here and see it in its best form. But I realize some of you might not be able to travel to Chennai, and I'd like to give you a virtual tour of the space. Come on in. It's Afan from Bridland Shoemaker, and today I'll be speaking to you about Bridlen LABO. When we started Bridland.com, it was a website-first business, but it had some challenges. Many customers wanted to touch and feel the product because it's such a tactile material, leather, and also to get fitting right, people wanted to try the shoes. So a couple of years into starting the business, while we were doing trunk shows and able to visit people also wanted to visit us. And I was seeing customers in the factory. When the number of people who wanted to come into the factory started to increase, it got a bit hectic in the factory. So we decided one day that we would have to move out, give the customer a better experience, and started Bridland Gallery. But Bridland Gallery couldn't take the sort of number of people that were inquiring to come in, and it was an appointment only space. And so we decided we had to move into a bigger space. And this was when the idea of LABO kind of finally came into fruition, and we came upon this really beautiful old building on a dead end, and it had this unique shape. It was the shape of a crescent, so a kind of curved building in the middle of a very asymmetrical plot. So it was a very quirky kind of building in a quirky piece of land. There were a few aspects of the old building that really stood out to me, and I wanted to try and keep it intact as much as possible, at least. This is just two huge pieces of stone put one on top of the other that's holding the roof up pretty much. But what's also more interesting, I thought, was the fact that this is one aspect of the shop that we absolutely did not change. I mean, we did not even shine it. We kept it with all its scratches, and kind of tells the story of the place over the last 50 years. I kind of likened it to the concept of wabi-sabi, which is where you celebrate certain imperfections rather than trying to correct it entirely. Another aspect was when we came into this old kind of dingy living room before it was done up, there was one huge bay window that was letting in as much light as it would allow. And that reminded me of the tea ceremony in Japan, where you sit out on a balcony, an inside balcony, and the doors open to show this beautiful window outside, and you just enjoy your cup of tea and the view. Another aspect I saw while doing a trunk show in Bangalore at a very good friend's shop was this really cool light that was able to almost make the indoors look like outdoors. So it brought in natural light without throwing in shadows. So it was a kind of very cool technology, and I thought I wanted to try and bring that in. So we did that for the center space with this kind of round cutout light. Many people sometimes think that, it's a cutout and it's allowing sunlight to come from the roof. It's just a light. Quite a few pieces of furniture made its way from the gallery now to the LABO. One of those was this dining table. And the reason we had a dining table at the gallery was two things. One, the height of the old space was not very tall, so we needed to have something a bit lower. And I liked the concept that I didn't want to make it look so much like a retail space. And the shoes have a particularly beautiful aesthetic when you look down at it rather than look up to it, as you would look down to your shoes naturally. So we like the concept of having these shoes at a lower eye level. in my first trip, I remember we went out to see the shoes we made at Isetan Shinjuku, which is iconic place in the menswear space, particularly in the shoe space, which has this wall. It's about 100 feet long almost, and it's just got rows and rows of shoes. It was this most beautiful thing I remember seeing now 15 years ago. And I said one day when we have a shop, I'd like to replicate a small part of that at least and have our shoes on that. And what you see behind me, the shoe wall, is a small representation of that. For the last 15 years, so even before I was a shoemaker, I went out there to meet Mr. Watanabe when I traveled with my father to see Japan. And many aspects of it have inspired me today and my design sensibilities of this space, which is simply to keep it as simple as possible, lighter colors, so that the things that we want to talk about, in our case shoes, really stands out. So one part being the shoe shop, of course, we also had a more natural extension to it, which was shoe repair. And we started at the gallery shoe repair as well, but we only did it for our own shoes, simply out of the fear that we didn't want to mess up other people's shoes. And I remember Mr. Watanabe told me to keep the inside of a shoe as clean as you would on the outside, which we shine and make it nice and presentable. But he said it's important to make sure that when you're making a shoe, keep the insides clean as well. So before we put in the cork, I remember he said, you make markings for size, erase that out, because one day, because this is a Goodyear Welted shoe, someone's going to take it apart somewhere in the world to repair your shoes. And at that time, he should wonder that there's a shoemaker somewhere in India who's able to make shoes as clean and almost pay respect to the work that we do today. So now at Bridlen LABO, we have Madras Leather Works there, where we do shoe repair, not just for our own shoes, but other brands as well. What some people might not realize is the outside in the Labo is twice as big as the inside. So we're going to try and do some gardening over the next few months and years. And the concept was that you would have a conservatory, that space, but we decided to actually cover it up and air condition it on the inside, because in Chennai the weather doesn't quite allow you to enjoy outdoors as much. One of the things I wanted to use this space was for what we're calling community building. We wanted to have a space where menswear enthusiasts, people who enjoy shoes and other occasions as well, come in and use this space. So we have this open area called the conservatory with a large table to get people together, gather around, have a discussion. We're hoping once a month we're going to have these events at the Labo to bring people of like-minded interests come together for an evening of having a good time. This space is a break away from a very busy city that is Chennai. I use it almost as an escape pod to come away from my factory life once in a while, from the busy city to this dead-end old house. And I hope for customers and friends and family who come here that they can feel the same sense of serenity and peace when they come into the Bridlen LABO.